Before we dissect the psychological machinery of the female mind, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. If you are serious about understanding the dynamics that govern human mating strategies, you need the data we are about to reveal. Subscribe so you do not remain in the dark. We are starting immediately with the foundational layer of attraction. To understand what acts as a weakness or a compulsion trigger in women, we have to look at the last 200,000 years of human history, not just the last 20 years of modern dating. The female nervous system is evolutionarily wired to detect threats. For nearly all of human history, a woman was physically vulnerable to the environment, to predators, and to other tribes. Therefore, her primary biological directive is survival. This leads us to the first and most potent weakness: protective competence and nervous system regulation. This is not merely about being a tough guy. That is a surface-level understanding. This is about being a psychological anchor. When a woman is in the presence of a man, her amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for processing fear and threat detection, is constantly scanning him. She is asking a silent question. Can this man control his internal environment? If a man is anxious, fidgety, easily offended, or reactive, he signals to her primitive brain that he is unstable. If he cannot control himself, he certainly cannot control a crisis. The weakness she has is for a man who possesses a high degree of stoic capability. When chaos erupts, whether it's a waiter getting the order wrong or a life-altering crisis, the man who remains physically still and mentally sharp triggers a massive release of oxytocin and dopamine in her brain. He becomes her safe haven. This is why the nice guy archetype often fails. The nice guy is usually acting out of fear of upsetting her, fear of conflict. His niceness is actually a compliance strategy to stay safe. Women are not weak for compliance. They are repulsed by it because it signals weakness. Conversely, they are weak for controlled danger. A man who has the capacity for aggression, who is physically fit, assertive, and capable of violence, but who has that aggression under voluntary control, is the ultimate aphrodisiac. It signals to her that she is protected by you, rather than needing to be protected from you. To exploit this weakness, you must master the art of non-reactivity. When she tests you, or when she becomes emotional, you do not match her chaotic energy. You absorb it. You remain the mountain while she is the weather. This dynamic allows her to relax her own guard. It allows her to step out of survival mode and into her feminine energy. A woman cannot be feminine with a man she does not trust to handle reality. She will only surrender to a man whose frame is stronger than hers. This is the bedrock of attraction, the anchor of safety. Tenaquak, 20 minutes. Weakness number 2. The relief of cognitive load. Decisive leadership. We are moving into the mechanics of modern psychological exhaustion and how you can use it to your advantage. We live in an era of decision fatigue. The average person makes roughly 35,000 decisions a day. For a woman, who is often balancing a career, social expectations, and perhaps family, this mental load is crushing. This creates the second massive weakness: the desire for cognitive offloading via decisiveness. Most men misunderstand this completely. They think they are being respectful by asking, "What do you want to do?" or "Where should we go?" They believe they are being egalitarian. In reality, they are assigning her homework. When you ask a woman to decide, you are forcing her to expend mental energy. You are forcing her into her masculine, executive functioning brain. This kills the romantic polarity. The weakness you must target is her desire to be led. She craves a man who has a plan. A man who says, "I am picking you up at 7, wear that red dress, I have everything handled," is not being controlling. He is being a leader. He is offering her a vacation from responsibility. The psychology here is profound. When you take charge of the logistics, you are signaling risk tolerance. Every decision carries a risk that the outcome might be bad. The restaurant might be terrible. The movie might be boring. When you make the decision, you are voluntarily shouldering the burden of that risk. You are saying, "If this goes wrong, it's on me." This display of confidence is intoxicating. It shows you trust your own judgment. If you do not trust your own judgment enough to pick a pizza topping, how can she trust your judgment on where to live, how to invest, or how to raise children. Women are weak for men who provide direction. This is often referred to as providing a container. You create the structure, the time, the place, the plan, and she fills that structure with her energy, her mood, and her playfulness. Without your structure, her energy spills out into anxiety. Indecision is the enemy of attraction. Even a bad decision made with confidence is often more attractive than a perfect decision arrived at after hours of hesitation and insecurity. Start making small decisions immediately. Stop asking, start leading. 20 and wow, 30 minutes. Weakness number 3. The genetic bet, ambition and resource trajectory. If you are following this deep dive, you are already ahead of the curve. Ensure you are subscribed so we can keep bringing you this high-level analysis. Now we must address the uncomfortable but biological reality of hypergamy and resource potential. The third weakness is not just money. It is the ambition trajectory. Evolutionary psychology dictates that women are sexually selective filters. They are wired to select mates who offer the best chance of survival for potential offspring. In the modern world, this translates to resources. However, here is the nuance that most men miss. Women are often more attracted to the potential of future success than the stagnation of current wealth. A man who inherited money but sits on the couch playing video games signals genetic decline. He has resources, but he lacks the drive to keep them or grow them. Conversely, a man who is currently broke but possesses a ferocious work ethic, a clear vision, and high intelligence is a growth stock. Women are expert investors. They want to buy into a man who is on the rise. This is why a starving artist or a struggling entrepreneur often has no trouble dating high-quality women. She sees the fire in him. She sees the ambition trajectory. The weakness here is for purpose. A man without a mission is a man who will eventually make the woman his sole focus. This sounds romantic in movies, but in reality, it is suffocating. If you make her the center of your universe, she becomes your source of validation. This places a heavy burden on her. She wants to be the co-pilot on a great adventure, not the destination itself. When she sees you prioritizing your work, your training, and your goals, even over her at times, it triggers a respect response. It tells her that you are a man of substance. You must communicate your vision. You must have a plan for where you will be in 5 years, 10 years. You must be actively working towards it. This drive signals vitality. It signals that you are a hunter in the modern jungle. A woman wants to attach herself to a winning team. If you demonstrate that you are moving forward with or without her, she will fight to be with you. This is the weakness for the man on a mission. 30 unqualified, 40 minutes. Weakness number 4. The art of emotional permeability, deep presence. We are approaching the halfway mark. This next concept is where the emotional bond is cemented. The fourth weakness is emotional permeability and deep presence. Men and women communicate differently. Men communicate to transfer information and solve problems. Women often communicate to bond and process emotions. When a woman comes to you with a problem, your male brain immediately scans for a solution. You interrupt her to say, just do X, Y, and Z. You think you are helping. She feels dismissed. She feels like you are treating her like a broken car engine that needs fixing. The weakness you need to exploit is her desire to be truly seen and heard. Deep presence is the ability to stand in the fire of her emotions without flinching and without trying to fix it. It is the ability to look her in the eyes, give her your undivided attention and say, I hear you, or tell me more. This sounds simple, but for most men, it is excruciatingly difficult because her emotions make them anxious. When you can hold space, meaning you remain solid and supportive while she vents chaos, you create a massive emotional dependency. You become the only person in her life who can handle her intensity. This presence must be total. In a world of smartphones and distractions, a man who can focus 100% of his consciousness on a woman is a rare commodity. Eye contact is crucial here. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. When you are with her, be with her completely. If you are distracted, she feels unsafe and undervalued. The weakness is for a man who has the emotional intelligence to validate her feelings without being consumed by them. You validate the emotion. That sounds really hard. without necessarily agreeing with the logic. This makes her feel understood, which to a woman is indistinguishable from feeling loved. 40 Monday, 50 minutes. Weakness number 5. The dopamine spike, unpredictability, and pre-selection. We are now going to discuss the darker side of attraction, the need for novelty and social proof. If you haven't clicked subscribe yet, do it now. This section explains why nice guys finish last. The 5th weakness is unpredictability combined with social pre-selection. The human brain is a pattern recognition machine. Once a pattern is understood, e.g., he calls every day at 7 p.m., he always says yes, he never disagrees, the brain stops releasing dopamine, the object becomes boring. Predictability is the death of passion. Women are weak for a man who keeps them slightly off balance. This is not about playing mind games or being toxic. It is about being dynamic. You must introduce intermittent reinforcement. Sometimes you are available, sometimes you are busy crushing your goals, sometimes you are sweet, sometimes you are stoic and distant. Sometimes you surprise her with a trip, sometimes you cancel plans because work demands it. This variability keeps her engagement high. She cannot take you for granted because she hasn't fully figured you out. A book that you have memorized is rarely reread. A mystery novel keeps you turning pages. Be the mystery. Coupled with this is pre-selection. Women operate deeply on social consensus. If a man walks into a room and other women are looking at him, smiling at him, or competing for his attention, his value instantly skyrockets in the eyes of his partner. This is a survival heuristic. If other females want him, he must have good genes, resources. You should never be disrespectful, but you should cultivate a social circle where you are admired. Be charming to waitresses, be friendly with female colleagues. Let her see that you are a man in demand. The weakness here is competition anxiety. A woman wants a man that other women want, but that only she can have. If she feels she is the only one who would date you, she will question her own judgment. If she feels she won a prize that others are eyeing, she will cherish you. Maintain your edge. Never let yourself become safe property. 50 60 minutes. Weakness number 6, mastery of the physical world, competence. We are deep into the hour now. This section is about the physical reality of being a man. The 6th weakness is physical competence and capability. We are living in a digital abstraction. Men are losing their connection to the physical world. They cannot change a tire, they cannot build a fire, they cannot defend themselves, and they are physically soft. Because this competence is becoming rare, it is becoming a highly fetishized weakness for women. There is a primal circuit in the female brain that lights up when she sees a man manipulating the physical world with skill. This could be driving a car with precision, fixing a broken appliance, lifting heavy weights, or navigating a dangerous city street with confidence. It signals agency. It proves that you are not just a passive observer of life, but an active participant who can impose his will on the environment. This extends to your body. Your body is the only house you will ever truly own. If your house is falling apart, if you are obese, weak, or frail, it signals a lack of self-discipline and a lack of self-respect. Women are biologically wired to be attracted to indicators of health and strength. Broad shoulders, V-taper, strong hands, because these were indicators of survival capability. You do not need to be a bodybuilder, but you must look capable. You must look like you could carry her out of a burning building. This weakness also touches on the handyman archetype. There is something deeply attractive about a man who solves problems with his hands. It is a display of utility. In a relationship, a woman wants to feel that if something breaks, physically or metaphorically, you have the tools and the skills to fix it. Do not outsource your masculinity. Learn to be useful. Competence is the ultimate currency. 60 70 minutes. Weakness number 7, the iron hand in the velvet glove. Selective vulnerability. We have arrived at the final and most nuanced weakness. This is the advanced class. If you have stuck with me this long, make sure you subscribe. This final point ties everything together. The 7th weakness is selective vulnerability, backed by strength. There is a massive misunderstanding in the manosphere that says a man should never show emotion. This creates a robot, not a partner. However, the modern world tells men to cry more. This creates a weakling. The truth lies in the middle, in the paradox. Women are weak for a man who is strong enough to be vulnerable without collapsing. There is a difference between bleeding on a woman and revealing yourself to her. Bad vulnerability, weakness. I'm so scared, I don't know what to do. Life is so hard. Please comfort me. This forces her to become your mother. It kills attraction. Good vulnerability, strength. I'm worried about this business deal. The stakes are high and I feel the pressure, but I'm going to handle it. I just wanted to share that with you. Do you see the difference? The second example admits humanity, but retains the frame of competence. Women are weak for the contrast. If you are a monster in the boardroom and a warrior in the gym, but you are gentle and open only with her, it makes her feel incredibly special. It is the beauty and the beast archetype. She wants the beast, but she wants the beast to be tame for her. This selective vulnerability builds trust. It shows her that you are not an unfeeling stone wall. It allows her to connect with your soul. But this access must be earned. It is a VIP section. If you are vulnerable with everyone, you are just an emotional man. If you are vulnerable only with her, you are giving her a gift. Summary. To trigger these 7 weaknesses, you must become a man of contradictions. You must be safe yet dangerous. You must be decisive yet open to her needs. You must be ambitious yet present. You must be unpredictable yet reliable. You must be physically dominant yet gently vulnerable. This is the path of the superior man. It is not easy. It requires constant self-work. But the reward is not just attraction from women. It is respect from the world and respect from yourself. Thank you for watching this 70-minute deep dive. If this script added value to your life, subscribe to the channel right now. We are building a tribe of men who refuse to be average. Like the video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and go out there and execute. I will see you in the next video.